ready to question everything? Tune in.
Out there, what's the plan? Are we pawns or the kings of the land? It's the Robert and Crew Show. Down the rabbit hole we go. Conspiracy, what's that in play? It's the Robert and Crew Show. Spin the globe, point the light from the underground to the heights. 12:30 a.m. the truth ignites. No start time, no end in sight.
Welcome back to the Robert and Crew Show. As always, I'm your host, Robert.
And I'm your co-host, Crew.
How you doing tonight, Crew?
Wonderful.
What's been going on?
Just been relaxing.
So, when we hit off on our last show, we was talking about government corruption. Now, I still got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 videos you sent me.
Hell yeah.
So, we're going to get back up into this.
Let's do it.
Julie says, I was on the verge of asking if you were going live tonight. Julie, you know we are almost always going live every night. If we're not on...
Expect us to go live on a Saturday. Don't always hope.
If we're not on live by 12:30 or 12:45, we're probably not going to be on.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to get into this. Here comes the first video from Crew. We're going back into this whole Pam Bondi BS. But first, before we get into Pam Bondi, let's bring this up.
Overnight, President Trump, in a rare formal address from the White House, declaring the war with Iran a massive military success.
Tonight, I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion.
Among those objectives, he says, destroying Iran's Navy and missile program, as well as preventing the regime from building a nuclear bomb.
We are on track to complete all of America's...
Is he watching the same war that I'm watching? Because I would not call this a great success.
Right.
And, oh my goodness. A part of me just thinks this guy is too old to be president.
So you're basically saying he's pulling a Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing.
The war is going great. We
Oh,
are totally obliterating everything.
yeah. Keep dreaming, Trump.
Military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
Damn. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
Yeah. Okay.
That's crazy. That is a crazy, crazy claim, and that is intimidating.
Yeah. I'm not intimidated for
Telling
one.
NBC News.
Right.
I think it's just completely him saying, "Oh, he's going to take Iran to the Stone Ages," is a very heartful, stupid way of thinking. He hasn't taken his meds. He really needs to watch what's actually going on out in the war.
Well, the reason he said that was he's trying to strike fear into the Iranian regime.
And,
And well, it's not that it's not working. It's that we as civilians, we see an entire different part of this that Trump obviously is not aware of. He obviously does not know how to use X or Instagram or Facebook. I mean, God, I guess he's only ever on Truth Social. So he must not get a lot of the news from Truth Social. Quite
Right.
honestly, lately, when he's been asked questions, have you seen when for instance when he got asked about Kristi Noem's husband's cross-dressing scandal that like just happened? He's like, "Oh, well, that's terrible. I feel very bad for the family, but I don't know anything about it. That's terrible. I don't know anything about it." You're going to tell me you don't know anything about one of the biggest scandals released on that day? You don't know anything about it. You didn't hear anything, not a single thing about it.
Probably.
That's crazy. You know, he works with those people.
Right. So
how'd you not hear about it?
He probably just doesn't care.
Well, I feel like a part of it is he doesn't care, and then I feel like another part of it is he's like, he's too engulfed. No pun intended. He's too engulfed with playing golf and messing with backdoor deals behind the American people's backs, doing bidding for other countries that we won't name here, but you can guess it. It's just, this is very corrupt because, the people had no say in going to war with Iran.
Right.
Neither did the Iranians. Nobody had any say on this. It was Bibi Netanyahu came running to Trump going, I need your help. Iran has bomb. And Trump, that's literally what it was. I need your help. Iran has bomb. Iran has been trying to get bomb for 30 years. They could have bomb next week. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Bibi Netanyahu, like, he wants the war. He wants the war, guys. And the reason Bibi Netanyahu wants the war is because as long as he is in power, as long as he is fighting a war, he cannot be put on trial for crimes against humanity and war crimes.
Right.
Which is literally what is going on. Like, he has war crimes and corruption. Mm-hmm. Scratch the crimes against humanity. I don't know. I just said that. That's me being facetious. But no, he's under investigation for corruption. So, Mr. Trump, bring help. Iran got big bomb.
The military checklist for the war is almost complete. Overnight, Iran responding to the president, saying the U.S. has not destroyed key targets, adding, assuming they have, will, quote, only deepen the quagmire in which you have trapped yourselves. and warning the U.S. to expect more forceful, broader, and more destructive actions from us. Iran has also said it won't open the Strait of Hormuz for the U.S., blocking the critical global shipping lane. The president increasingly frustrated with global allies who have been reluctant to join the war and help protect the passageway.
The country.
I wonder how come. I wonder how come no other nation wants to join up in the fight against Iran. Maybe because Mr. Trump, Iran have big bomb. You have to help Israel. And nobody else wants to come help because they know Israel's full of shit.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's like you've got Bibi Netanyahu who repetitively just keeps yelling about how Iran have big bomb. And the president over here just doesn't know who to listen to. He sits here and he listens to people like Ted Cruz, who literally told him, like literally 5 minutes before we took action against Iran, the president asked Ted Cruz, like, do you think we should hit Iran? And Ted Cruz literally goes, yes, we should definitely hit Iran. We should take this opportunity while we have the opportunity. So is Ted Cruz the motherfucking president? Like, how come Donald Trump can't make decisions for himself?
I thought exactly.
Of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it.
Also predicting the strait will open when the
You think they should grab it by the pussy? Do you think Iran should grab it by the pussy?
conflict is over.
It'll just open up naturally.
Overnight, global markets fell sharply, rattled by the uncertainty. All of it coming amid rising gas prices here at home and growing skepticism over the conflict. Yesterday, in a speech to faith leaders at the White House, the president saying the federal government needs to focus on the military while discussing fraud and funding for domestic programs, which he says states should run.
We're fighting wars where we can't take.
So we should have states run fraud and protection programs when states like Minnesota are completely covered in fraud right now.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. We should let people like Tim Walz run fraud management. You know, the guy that allowed all those Somali daycares to be fraudulent, you know, at the state level. Does anything actually change if you just award the state level a fraud department?
Right.
That sounds like a crock of shit.
Exactly.
Care of daycare. It's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection.
The White House posting, then removing the speech, which was closed to the press. The remarks coming as the president is also pressuring Republicans to end the partial government shutdown. While TSA officers are now getting paid, easing those long airport lines. Overnight, GOP leaders in the House and Senate announcing a deal that would fund the Department of Homeland Security, except ICE and Customs and Border Protection, key sticking points where Democrats want reforms. During last night's primetime address, the president...
We've got the best ice around. Absolutely crazy. So we're going to just keep funding all of this governmental nonsense. Did you see that Trump's ballroom got denied?
Yeah.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
It made no mention of the potential for American boots on the ground in Iran. He does say the new regime is less radical and much more reasonable, but multiple Western officials, U.S. intelligence assess.
But how does the new regime feel about us killing the original Ayatollah?
Right.
Assessments and regional analysts tell NBC News there is no indication that new leaders in Iran have made a break with the Islamic Republic's ideology. Laura and Craig.
Gabe Gutierrez at the White House for us. Thank you, Gabe.
Let's bring in Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, always good to see you. So, yeah, I mean, the president made his case last night for the war, declared it a success. He's done that a number of times since the start of the war. What
Does this war look very successful to you?
No.
No, I think we are living in a dream reality crew. The president says that everything's fine. It's great. It's wonderful and beautiful and big.
Keep dreaming.
More can you tell us about the ultimate goal for that primetime address last night?
I can't do Trump
Well,
very
Craig,
well,
according
but
to
I
the
can do
president's
Israel.
allies I've been
Big
speaking
bomb.
with, the president's goal was to really lay out his rationale in the most fulsome way for the war in Iran to the American people and to try to calm jitters from Wall Street to Main Street, even though that clearly hasn't happened yet based on Gabe's reporting. Look, Senator Lindsey Graham, a Trump ally, posted on social media overnight.
Did anybody in this podcast see the picture that got taken of Lindsey Graham at Disney World?
Mm-mm.
It is absolutely hilarious. He has a pink scepter, like a Disney princess scepter, and he's just walking around Disneyland or Disney World and being photographed. It's absolutely hilarious. This man goes to Disney World by himself and buys a pink scepter.
All right.
It's a little weird.
President Trump, quote, gave a compelling explanation as to why we had to act against this evil regime. Look, while the president argued last night the war will end soon, he did leave a lot of critical questions unanswered, including what his strategy is for exiting, whether he plans to put troops on the ground, as Gabe said, and his critics say he didn't show empathy for the higher prices Americans are dealing with. In fact, former Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene said all she heard from the speech was, quote, war, war, war. Recent polling shows this war is deeply unpopular with Americans. According to a recent CNN poll, 66% of people disapprove of the conflict, and there has been a 12-point jump among those who strongly disapprove of the war, numbers that are concerning to Republicans against the backdrop of what we know is this midterm election cycle, the political focus of Washington.
Kristen, we have the war. We also have, obviously, this framework, potentially a framework for a deal to end the partial government shutdown. Democrats, Republicans have been at each other over this for months now. Who do you think bears the political cost at the end of the day?
Well, it's hard to know. In the wake of the last government shutdown, Republicans, according to polling, did bear the brunt. We'll have to see how this plays out. But this is a significant development, Laura and Craig, because Republicans in the House and the Senate are finally on the same page. The proposed plan would fund the government in two stages, effectively funding all of DHS immediately, and then ICE and CBP funding would be addressed separately by Congress. And just as a reminder, this is the root of the issue. Democrats said they would not agree to fund ICE or CBP without major reforms to immigration enforcement operations, and that will likely be the next major congressional battle that we'll see in the coming weeks. Look, this has been the longest partial government shutdown in U.S. history, and it's prompted outrage from voters in both parties, with TSA workers not getting paid in those long lines at airports across the country, guys.
All right. Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, thank you. And of course, Kristen will have much more, because if it's Sunday, it's Meet the
So, how do you feel about the Trump stuff?
I think it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, for sure. So, I just wanted to show you this. This is Lindsey Graham at Disney World. Oh, of course, it doesn't have the picture on this. Why would it take me here with no picture?
Right.
Well, either way, this photo right here is Lindsey Graham at Disney World with a pink scepter in his hand. Look at that. Why?
Right.
Why did Lindsey Graham go to Disney World by himself?
Exactly.
Is that not weird to anybody else?
Yeah, that's a little weird. Very creepy as well.
He's just a Disney adult.
On the Epstein files, you talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the
No,
Department of
I didn't,
Justice?
I have a lot of things I'm doing, a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned 2 names. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines.
A lot of women who are survivors of Epstein's are unhappy with those redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you think that they should be more transparent?
The fact that they thought they released too much. You know, I heard that, and you tell me something else. Wait for the country to get onto something else. Now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
But what would you say to people
like
who feel like they haven't gotten
healthcare
justice, Mr. President?
Something that people care about. Yeah, what do you say?
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they haven't gotten
You are
justice?
the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever.
He
seen
always
a smile.
goes
I've
right
known
to
you for
bashing the
10
reporter.
years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile
Well,
on
I'm
your
asking
face.
you about survivors.
You know why?
of
You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you.
These are survivors of a sexual abuse.
Okay, so I will say I'm very disgusted by the way Trump handled that, because when he's talking to her and he's going off and trying to change the subject to like healthcare or whatever else this other stuff is, and then he says to a subject that people actually care about, Trump, the people who voted for you, your MAGA base, those are the people who also want the Epstein files. So your own base, your own voter base that voted for you, they're the ones calling for the files.
Exactly.
So you sitting there telling us that they don't matter and that the people who want them are idiots or were stupid or were retarded, those were your followers. Those were the people that backed you at one point in time because you promised to release the list. So that's kind of screwed up. On to the next one. Iran got big bomb.
Took office in 2025, he sold a $500 million stake in a company tied to his family to a firm owned by a United Arab Emirates ruler. And then, after he was inaugurated, his administration quietly reversed artificial intelligence export restrictions that benefited the UAE. Now, the Foreign Emoluments Clause says a president is not allowed to take money or benefits from a foreign government unless Congress. The reason is if foreign governments can put money directly into a president's personal business or his accounts while he is making U.S. policy, they can gain leverage over him. It is a conflict of interest, and it is flat out unconstitutional. Now, Trump claims he was unaware of the deal, which is complete bullshit, as $187 million flowed directly to Trump-linked entities, and key policy decisions immediately followed after that happened. Regardless, though, the Foreign Emoluments Clause does not require any kind of intent or awareness. It flat out bars a president from receiving foreign government money unless Congress approves it. Whether Trump knew about it or not is legally irrelevant. And before someone wants to say, well, he wasn't president yet, a president-elect may not yet be sworn in, but they are already exercising power, receiving intelligence, and shaping policy. Once the election is over and he won, the clause immediately came into force for him. There is no loophole here where corruption is just legal briefly for a few weeks for an incoming president. But yet again, as with other things, and Donald Trump took office in 2025, he sold a $500 million stake.
What you mean? You mean I'm not allowed to be corrupt 5 minutes before I'm elected? Man, I don't want to be president no more. That's stupid. We should all be allowed to be corrupt for at least 5 minutes before we become president. Take the fun out of everything.
Right.
Just so you guys know, the mustache man required 2 generations of proof in order to prove that you were Aryan. If you had grandparents that went back 3 generations and they were Jewish, you were considered Jewish. And to prove that you were a citizen of Germany, you had to go back 7 generations. Just so you guys know, the mustache man required
So AH is what we'll call him, so we don't get screwed off here on YouTube. But AH required seven generations to stay in Germany. That's crazy.
Hmm.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
I don't know how true that is, but if that is true, that is absolutely insane.
Exactly.
And I never predict. I've been the head of the ACLU for 25 years. I've gone to literally dozens of Supreme Court arguments. We win this case. That is clear to me. The arguments that we presented were so ironclad. We have constitutional arguments. We have statutory arguments. Oh, I can predict, and I never predict. I've been.
So he's pretty sure that they're going to win the case. How do we feel about birthright citizenship? How do you feel about it?
Okay, so as an American-born citizen, I feel that it shouldn't be brought up. It should be left alone, right? For anybody who was born in America, regardless of your nationality, right? And it should be nipped in the butt. Like, okay, we're dealing with corrupt government officials who want it their way or the highway. They don't want people from other countries in our country because they want it to be all pure blood Americans. But they have to remember that not everybody is a pure blood American. We all come from different backgrounds.
Right.
Like, for instance, it's been proven years ago that Obama wasn't American descent.
Right.
And it's also been proven that Arnold Schwarzenegger is not American descent.
Is he?
No.
No, he's Austrian.
Exactly. And he was the governor of California.
You can be a governor and be from a different country.
Right. But what I'm saying is it does, even if you are not from America, right?
Right.
And you get American citizenship and you get children in this country that are born in this country, they should not be illegally not allowed to get American citizenship. If now, let's just say illegal immigrants, right, come to America, want to get a better life, right?
Yeah.
To get a job, to provide for their families, bring their families over here, and then get a child born in this country. They should not be told, oh, well, you're not allowed in this country. Now I'm going to say, the illegal immigrants who come into this country who want to do corrupt, evil crap, they should not be allowed in this country. But should that fall upon their children to where they don't belong? No.
Well, we don't want people that have hurt other people, have SA'd other people, have been in prison, and the only reason they got released was to be shipped over here, which has happened.
Right.
And we don't want you to be a part of a terrorist group.
Right. But
I think those are all obligatory and perfectly acceptable in my personal opinion.
But it should not fall upon their children to be included in that category.
Well, birthright citizenship, man, is two people usually male and a female, sneak over our border, have a baby, and claim the baby as an American citizen. And because their baby was born here, therefore it gives them citizenship over the baby, and the parents obtain citizenship from the baby being born. What they're trying to get rid of is the parents gaining citizenship. The baby technically would still have citizenship, but who is going to leave their baby if they're going to get sent back? Not nobody. Nobody's
Right.
going to leave their baby. Nobody that loves their baby is going to leave their baby here. So,
Well, what I mean is, though, right? It shouldn't, that whole birthright citizenship thing should not fall onto the child, because it's not fair to the child. It's not fair to one of the other half of the parents.
bro, what are
Right?
you talking about? You're not making any sense. Like, what the thing that is here is that it doesn't fall on the child. It doesn't fall
Well,
on the child at all. It's the fact of the matter is the two parents can no longer come over here anymore and just have a baby and call it good.
I know, but I'm speaking on how some people who view it, right?
Yeah.
They view it that, oh, it's going to fall onto the child when it shouldn't. And
I don't
there's
understand what you mean by fall under the child.
okay, birthright citizenship, right?
Yeah.
Take that in consideration.
The definition of birthright citizenship is a baby is born here, that baby now has citizenship.
Right.
That's
But
the definition of birthright citizenship.
But what I'm saying is, when it comes to the parents, right? And I'm talking about the illegal ones who do the really bad things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those children should not get their birthright citizenship taken just because of the parents. That's what I mean. There's a lot of people in America, all around the world, there has been a lot who have viewed it that way.
It depends on how you look at this, homie. Because if somebody's been here for 20 years, I think they deserve to be allowed to stay here. But I also think they need to, like any other human being that immigrates to America, I need you paying taxes. I need you paying for your health care, and I need you to be a citizen. So if you've been here for 20 plus years and you're illegal, we need to figure out some kind of grandfathering rule which allows people from a certain amount of time to just become American citizens. But if they want to make it a little bit harder or whatever, which I understand if they do, give them the American citizenship test. If the ones who have been here for 20 plus years can answer most of the questions and they can answer them in English and fluently, then why the hell would you send them back?
Right.
They are
But-
basically American citizens. You're sending somebody back to Mexico who maybe never even grew up in Mexico.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. That's not fair.
And also the whole, fear mongrel crap about the whole Native Americans thing. Like at the beginning when they were bringing up the whole birthright crap and then all the Native Americans were being brought into this, that was out of line as well.
Yeah.
Which that should not have been brought up, because there's been a lot of Native Americans who did get affected.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, see, the thing was people, like, it was a rumor that spread that it was going to affect Native Americans, but there was a law back in the 80s that got passed. I believe it actually got passed in the 60s, but it got revamped in the 80s, and it granted all tribal people who, even the ones who are living on the reservations, it granted all of them citizenship. So you don't have to worry about the natives. They're perfectly fine. But I will say, like, they're also not perfectly fine because they're stuck in the reservations. But that's a different story for a different day. What's this?
Breaking news.
We have breaking news. What? I'm getting a slip that I have to show this now. That this is pretty big news, I guess. This is pretty big news.
Important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered, and like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that.
Non-human biologics, interracial alien mating. What the F is going on? Look, wait a second. You had whistleblowers tell you this kind of thing? Can you please unpack that?
I had a guy who was uniformed. He was a senior enlisted with the United States Army. Came into my office in Crestview, Florida, in a non-classified setting. I had members of my staff there, and what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants. Now, again, I didn't verify this, but what the whistleblower was telling me is that there were like between 6 and 12 locations around the country where this happened. And what he wanted was a group, members of Congress, to all show up at the same time at all of these different locations so that any of those activities could not be moved. And of course, it's a physical impossibility to get members of Congress to simultaneously show up at like 8 locations at one time. And so that never occurred.
What do you mean non-human biologics? Like this?
Well, that was the testimony of David Grush before the House Oversight Committee,
Yeah.
which I joined. And the testimony was that in crashes of craft that had been recovered by the CIA and through a special program that the CIA had for crash recovery, that it wasn't just the hard materials, it was also biologics, but that they couldn't identify a human source of those biologics. I think the most important information will be the biologics that are.
What forced breeding with human hybrids, aliens and humans being forced to breed to create hybrids? What? And it's a military program? Does that sound crazy? Does that sound bananas? You think that could be fucking real?
I don't know.
Do you think that dude's full of shit?
Honestly, until we see the alien files, I don't want to believe anything until I read,
So if
files.
if you get the alien files, what's the one thing that's gonna like make it all real for you?
Okay. Anything from the past, right? Around let's say from the 1940s all the way to now, of certain stories that we've heard over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything Area 51, anything,
Did you hear that apparently Area 51 caught on fire? Did you hear that?
Speaking of caught on fire, did you hear about Artemis 2 caught on fire apparently today?
Oh my goodness.
And apparently their toilet stopped working, and there was a video of when the Artemis 2 was going up. You could see this, that remember those machines,
basket,
the baskets that go.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw
Yeah.
that video.
Yeah.
It looks like they left the ship before they ever even got on it. Like they just
Right.
got on it. They got right onto that basket and came down when the rocket launched.
And they were one guy went on and said he's taking his NASA hat off. And it shows that the firmament got cracked in one video. And then there was another video where it shows the Artemis 2 didn't hit didn't go up in the atmosphere. It just did the curve and went into the water.
That's crazy.
Right. And I'm like, that's because we've never been to the moon.
That's because nobody believes it. The way for us to believe it, the only way for us to really believe this is they need to have a full live camera system somehow showing the entire launch, showing the rocket go into space and showing it land and then showing it come back. And that is almost impossible.
Like, okay,
so
they did it on April Fool's Day of all days.
I know. That was so stupid. Like, why would you choose to do that on April 1st?
Like, okay. The fact that, we can tell the astronauts are all behind a green screen, in front of a green screen, right?
Right, most of the time.
And you can clearly tell, and the fact that you can see the zip lines, and the fact that, the girls, when their hair is up, it's all hair gel.
Hairspray
or hair gel.
Yeah.
Either. It's the fact that, they're not fooling anyone. And we've never been to outer space. And there's a lot of...
You really don't think we've ever been to outer space? Ever?
No, because here's the thing. If we've been to the moon, then how come Buzz Aldrin...
Put your tinfoil hats on. Here comes the conspiracy.
Denies it every time.
Buzz
saying
Aldrin
it never happened.
Buzz Aldrin has said at least 3 times in very cryptic ways that the moon landing didn't happen. I completely agree with you on that.
And also, Neil Armstrong, right?
Well, that man went into hiding.
Hold on. When you look at the boot print picture, you see lines.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see the picture of his boots, there's no lines on the bottom of his boots.
Right.
And also, there's no air in space.
Yeah.
And in a video, you see the flag moving.
Flag waving. Yeah.
That's because it was filmed in a studio.
Yeah, and the air conditioning was on.
And also, this one. There was another video of these astronauts on live, right? Not the one in Artemis 2. This one was a while back. And clearly you can see the technician sitting right on the side.
Yeah, and he was drinking a bottle of water or drinking a cup of water.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't ever know if those videos are like just NASA trolling or if those are like real like screw ups.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always wonder, but I've also heard, that the International Space Station, that most of the training for that and most of the videos that are shot in an Olympic swimming pool that is in like Dallas, Texas somewhere. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that the International Space Station is in a swimming pool. And that's how they get all the crazy footage. And according to some people, they say like on the NASA live streams that sometimes you can see like water bubbles.
Right.
Like I don't know, is that true? Like I saw the one with the mouse. The mouse on the International Space Station, the one that's crawling on the outside of it in space. that one's absolutely hilarious. Like,
Well, there
it's
was
a literal
one
map.
where supposedly a horror story where this guy heard freaking tapping on the door,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was another one where this one guy saw a snake.
Yeah, I was gonna say the snake. And also, by the way, the space snakes have been seen more than once, supposedly. So,
And whenever I hear a space snake, I'm thinking APEP.
bro, could you imagine if there really are just snakes floating up in space and like one just comes by and is just knocking on your spaceship and it's dunk 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 and you like look out the window and it's just a giant anaconda and it's a space snake.
I'm like, is that APEP?
It's got like a little United States uniform on and a space helmet and it's knocking at your door and it's trying to come into your space station. That's hilarious.
Right.
Bro, space snakes. These motherfucking snakes out this motherfucking space.
and then the other horror stories where the reason why they've never gone back to the moon is because of
There's an alien base. There's an
alien
base.
sparecrafts just watching whoever
It's on the
goes
dark
to
side
it.
of the moon, man. It's on the side of the moon we never get to
Right.
go to. There's an alien base there, and the reason why we never went back was because the first time when we did go, which by the way, guys, we had to fake the moon landing so that we could give you guys video of the said fake moon landing because if we couldn't give you video, then nobody would believe it anyways. So we actually went to the moon, but we also had to fake the video. This is the theory behind it. And they went to the moon still. And when they got to the moon, they were greeted by aliens. And those aliens were like, "What the hell are you doing up here? You guys have to go right now. You're not allowed to be up here. Never come back." And they got back on the spaceship and they came back to Earth and they never went back to the moon. Because there's aliens. There's a whole alien base on the opposite side of the moon. On the dark side of the moon. Do you believe that, man? Do you think there's aliens on the moon? I don't know.
I mean, and also like here's another like before we get back on our other videos and stuff, I want to add this. There's also another theory that I sent you the video on TikTok where the reason why they haven't gone to the moon is because it's above the firmament.
Right.
And you remember how it always does that weird like during the day when you can see the moon, you see that like weird light blue color surrounding it.
Yeah.
But then at night, the dark, you only see parts of it, like half of it, and does that like weird like shape and everything.
Yeah.
Because water's from above and the water's from below kind of crap, you know.
Yeah.
The firmament separating the waters from above from waters from below. So that does make sense.
Right. I mean, but how come with every rocket they've shot up in the sky, one hasn't cracked the firmament and water hasn't started coming down?
Because the firmament supposedly it was way too hard to penetrate.
And like, remember that like weird ice, that weird blue colored ice they called sky ice, which was supposedly parts of the firmament that would fall to Earth occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any truth behind that? Behind sky ice?
I'm just gonna call that an urban legend until proven.
Right. Because sky ice would prove the firmament.
Right.
Would literally prove that there was a firmament above us. But then you would wonder how come sky ice never falls and just kills a random person.
Exactly.
Because you would think like eventually like sky ice would fall and it's so blocky and so hard that by the time it made it down to Earth that it still wouldn't break up, or at least it would be small enough that it would be like a pellet of hail, but it would be coming down from the very top of the dome. So like, if you drop a penny from the top of the Empire State Building, it can cut right through somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Kill.
And especially the lunar rocks supposedly that are found in Antarctica.
Oh yeah, like the meteorites and the moon
Right.
rocks.
Right.
All right. Well,
Supposedly.
that was the breaking news. Was the hybridization of humanoid aliens? That's pretty crazy. That's a pretty intense claim.
Right.
Let's get on to the next video. This lady just looks like she's really angry for no reason.
Attorney General, would you agree that it is important for law enforcement leaders to be honest?
Of course, as well as members of Congress.
Thank you. And would you include yourself as a law enforcement leader?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You know, President Trump has also, he has referred to himself as the chief law enforcement officer of this country. So do you believe that President Trump is honest?
He is the commander-in-chief of the United States of America, and
that
not only
President
is
Trump
he
is
keeping
honest?
this country safe,
Do you
he
believe
is keeping
he is
this
honest?
world
It's a
safe.
simple question,
Of
which
course
you didn't
I do.
answer.
He is
Okay,
the
thank you.
commander-in-chief.
Last June, Minnesota lawmaker Melissa Hortman, her husband Mark, and their dog were brutally murdered in their home. And your USA's office in Minnesota investigated this crime and obtained a 6-count indictment of the murder suspect, stating that he had intent to kill, injury, harass, and intimidate Minnesota legislators. And I have the copy right here. I read through it. Yet a few weeks ago, President Trump suggested publicly that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was behind these murders, posting on his Truth Social account a video raising this conspiracy theory.
Do you guys remember Melissa Hortman, the Minnesota state rep that had her life taken from her by Tim Walz's aide after voting to take away health care from illegal immigrants?
Was Melissa Hortman unalived because she voted against a multi-billion-dollar money laundering fraud?
And it wasn't true. And you know it wasn't true, or else you would not have brought an indictment against the subject. Do you know what else Trump has said? He has said he has cut gas prices by 1,400%. False. That he won the 2020 election.
Actually,
False.
gas is down
That
to
he
$1.99 a
didn't
gallon,
know
thanks to
that
President
he didn't
Trump.
know Epstein.
Maybe
False.
$5 in
That he
California.
sent, it's my time, Mr. Chair. That he sent water to LA during the wildfires. False. That Governor Westmore of Maryland called him the greatest president of his lifetime. False.
What's up, everybody? Major retired Richard Ojeda here, and Donald Trump is out here sharing deranged conspiracy videos about real political violence. And his bargain bin attorney general Pam Bondi is standing beside him like it's business as usual.
Do you agree that President Trump undermined public trust in law enforcement by suggesting that Governor Walz was involved in the Hortman murders?
I am not familiar with that statement.
Well, that is a disappointing response. And it is also why your office and Donald Trump have zero credibility. Because I know, and you know, it was a right-wing extremist who murdered the Hortmans. And you and the president are being dishonest with the American people.
So, I agree with her to a point, but with the shootings of those political members, they were Democrats who got, knocked by other Democrats. So, why do we really care about Trump's personal view on that? Of course, Trump doesn't care
because he's Republican.
Well, Trump doesn't care either way.
Yeah.
Tim Walz, look, I'm not going to say Tim Walz had those people killed. I would never say that. But I'll tell you, it's sus. It's weird. It's a weird situation. Mm-hmm. I think Trump jumped the gun and is pushing around a theory that, if it was real, could be easily proved. And, Trump probably shouldn't do that, but, he's the president with the big mouth.
Yep.
It's always been a thing, especially for him.
Yep.
All right. On to the next one.
Donald Trump attended various parties with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know, were there any underage girls at that party or at any party that Trump attended with Jeffrey Epstein?
This is so ridiculous, and that they are trying to deflect from all the great things Donald Trump has done. There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that. This has been the most transparent presidency. He's the one that asked that those files
I'm reclaiming my time.
be
I got your
released.
answer. You said there's no evidence.
Trump asked
Mr. Chairman,
that
please
the
stop the
files
clock.
be
My time. Stop
signed
the clock.
The legislation. This is
I'd like to reclaim my time.
Time belongs to the gentleman from California.
Okay. I'm going to put up another document from a witness who called the FBI's National Threat Operations Center, because I believe you just lied under oath. There is ample evidence in the Epstein file.
Don't you ever accuse me of a
I
crime.
believe you just lied under oath, and this is all on videotape. You said there's no evidence of a crime. I'm showing you. Here is.
Don't you ever
called into the FBI's Threat Operations Center. He drove Donald Trump around in a limo. He overheard what Donald Trump said to Jeffrey on his cell phone. He was so angry, he was going to stop a limo and hurt Donald Trump. And he met a girl who said she was raped by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. She later had her head blown off, and officers at the scene said that could not have been suicide. No one at the Department of Justice interviewed this witness. You need to interview this witness immediately. Epstein should rot in hell. So should the men who patronize his operation. And
Agreed.
as we sit here today, there are over 1,000 sex trafficking victims, and you have not held a single man accountable. Shame on
Agreed.
you. If you had
Time
any
of the
decency,
gentleman.
you would resign right after this
The
hearing
time of the
concludes.
gentleman has expired. I don't
May
know.
I respond?
Yeah, I don't know how you respond. No one can.
I did not ask a
respond.
question,
He
Mr.
doesn't
You're
want
allowed
to talk
to.
about
I did
the
not ask a
horrific crime in California. He does not want to talk about
I did not ask a
crime
question.
in his
You
state.
can't just
Madam
ad lib
Attorney
stuff.
General.
I did not ask a question.
Meeting will be in order.
Donald Trump.
I did not ask a question. You're not allowed to respond. I did not ask a question. Don't you ever accuse me of committing a crime. Do you understand me? There's a total mom vibe there.
Right.
Like Pam Bondi mommy. Jeez Louise.
Right.
And then the representative. I didn't ask a question. She's not allowed to respond.
I don't know how you answer that question.
Okay, on to the next Bondi video.
You know, with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Oh,
Is
really?
Julie,
I
just want to be clear.
do you want to go there, Attorney
time
General?
belongs
Or
to
do
the
you
gen-
want to go there? Are
Time
you
belongs to the
serious?
gentleman
Talking
from
about
South
anti-Semitism
Carolina.
to a woman who
They
lost
will-
her grandfather in the Holocaust? Really?
The committee will be in order.
Talk to Jared Wise about anti-Semitism.
Aware. Please stop talking. It is not your time to ask questions. It is not your time. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Chair. One second.
Time belongs to the gentleman from Vermont.
Was the president aware of Secretary Lutnick's ties to Epstein when he chose him to lead the Department of Commerce?
Maybe.
Was he aware?
Chris Malin was a Border Patrol agent.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude that
She
the president, in
never
fact,
mentioned
did
it
know about his
in
ties
her
because he was the next door neighbor.
Shame on you.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
You're
This
from
is
a tiny,
pathetic. This
beautiful
is
state.
pathetic,
The
Mr.
committee will
Chair.
be in order.
I am not asking trick questions here. The American people have a right to know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary. I'm
He's
Attorney
scary.
General. My apologies, I couldn't tell. We knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. And we now know that Lutnick went to Epstein's Island in 2012. How was that not a deal breaker for the president? And why aren't you asking questions of the Commerce Secretary about what he saw when he was at the island, which he lied about not ever going to? Why are you not asking these questions? And I see that my time is almost expired, so I will say this. Do the right thing, Attorney General. Meet with the survivors. They have been asking for a year. Meet with the survivors. Do the right thing. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
May I have 20 seconds of his time?
So that'll be up to the gentleman, but
Absolutely, Madam.
Thank you. Thank you. I was curious if you, Congresswoman, asked Bill Clinton that. Didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything
Let's
about
throw it right
Epstein,
back onto
not
the
once.
Democrats.
When he was weak sauce, and also I want the record to reflect that with this anti-Semitic culture right now, she voted against a resolution condemning.
Is
Jewish.
you?
I just want to be clear.
Do you want to go there, Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious?
gentleman
Talking
from
about
South
anti-Semitism
Carolina.
to a woman who lost her grandfather in the Holocaust? Really?
The committee will be in order.
Talk to Jared Wise about anti-Semitism.
Oh my god, that lady was scary. The lady was scary. Like Pam Bondi held that together really well because I don't know how well I would have done being yelled at by that lady. Like I give Pam 2 stars. 2 stars out of 5 for dealing with that correctly. But I have to take away half a star. So now it's 1.5 stars because Pam did try to lie and completely contort and twist everything and totally changed the question around that she was asked and then blamed the Jewish or the person who had Jewish relatives for voting against something that had to deal with Jewish beliefs or Jewish anti-Semitic stuff. I don't know. And then that lady gets very upset and yells about her grandfather in the Holocaust and runs out of the room.
Right.
So I'm just like, is this a movie? Is this a fucking movie? Because if it's not, it should be.
Exactly.
Somebody should make this into a movie. If you're out there and you're watching what's going on in the world right now and you are a comedian, a comedic writer or a political documentary person, it's your time to shine. You have so much that you could document right now. And this is the craziest movie you could make.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely said. I would do it if I had the funding and backing. I would make the movie.
I'd call it The Rise and Fall of Pam Bondi.
I'd call it corruption in the United States. The core of the apple. Like it's just right there. Like it would be such a obvious title. Like it would just be, this is the most ridiculous thing that the United States has been doing.
Yeah.
And that would be the title, ... at the bottom. It was like Fact or Fiction, Part 2. Iran have big bomb, Part 3.
Bondi losing her mind, Part 4.
The FBI and CIA attached to all these crazy conspiracy theories while our president gets denied for his ballroom. And on the top of all of that, the gun that apparently shot Charlie Kirk, the bullet does not match.
Right.
So Oh, and the bomb squad dogs could not locate the gun that supposedly shot Charlie Kirk. People located it, and apparently, if you fire off a weapon, those bomb dogs find it no matter what, which means that weapon was never fired, and they're now starting to think that there's a big possibility that either the feds or somebody else planted the weapon there. So now there's a whole nother slew of conspiracies attached to Charlie Kirk, and I am super interested because, you know,
Me too.
I didn't agree with a lot of the things that that man said, but I definitely didn't think he deserved to die. For
Right.
sure. Not on live TV, not in front of everybody. Definitely not at all. You don't deserve to die for having a differing opinion than somebody else. I don't
Exactly.
like you can hate the Muslims or the Jews or the Chinese people, and I still don't think you should die. You can hate white people, and I don't think you should die. Like you are allowed to have an opinion of the world around you. You know, God gave you this thing called free will. If you believe in God, you're supposed to have this God-given right of free will. And free will lets you basically do whatever you want. Now, there are consequences in reality, so some of those things you might end up in jail for, but you're allowed to do them. You are. If you want to go out and do something crazy, you're allowed to do it, but there's going to be consequences. But the world around you allows you to do it. So why can't we have differing opinions? Why are we all supposed to have the same opinion? I'm not saying you should be like a racist piece of shit or a horrible leftist or a horrible rightist or just somebody who hates the world. I'm not saying you should be one of those people, but I'm saying you should have the right to be one of those people.
Right.
I'm sorry. I mean, like, there's that famous quote. I don't remember who said it, but they said basically, like, I don't like the guy wearing the Nazi uniform, walking down the street, yelling about how bad, like, the government is or how the world is ran by the Jays. But I will fight for his right to do it, because if I don't fight for his right to do it, then I'll lose my right to protest against him. So, like, it's all about freedom of speech, bro. It's all about the freedom of protest. It's all like, once they start gathering certain groups and putting and labeling them, like that word anti-Semitism, it's kind of like it gets thrown around when you want to cancel somebody.
Right.
Okay,
And it also, and I didn't mean to cut you off, bro, but it also goes to the aspect of, you know, let's bring back, you know, a little heritage topic here for a second. Historical heritage. The Confederate flag. Perfect example. Now, a lot of people, there's half people who go by, you know, it's heritage. It's the way of our Southern heritage. That's how we support that because it's the Southern flag of the United States. But then there's the other side who hate the Confederate flag because of what it was used for during the Civil War. And I can see both sides, right?
Well, it's the time period, okay?
Right.
The flag, the Confederate flag did in a way represent the Confederacy. Sure.
Yes.
I will give you that 100%. Is that flag directly tied to slavery? One could argue no. But I could also see how one could argue and win the argument with yes.
Right.
Because it's literally called the Confederate flag.
Right.
So,
but here's the problem with all, you know, both sides. Both sides need to understand that it represents both heritage for the Southern history, you
also have to understand, though, that people they equivocate the Confederate flag with racism, with racist beliefs, and
exactly.
like we had images, back in the day of the Klan walking around with the Confederate flag, or neo-Nazis marching down the street holding the Confederate flag and the Nazi flag, like,
Yes.
so that's why people get so upset by it, because it's a
Right.
it's a racial trigger. But
Well,
the thing that people don't understand is that anything can become a trigger.
oh
Like,
yeah, 100%.
even just protesting normally, it just takes one person to take everything out of whack to create a mob. Like, it doesn't have to start because of racism or sexism. It can just start because some crazy person decides to throw a rock.
Well, it also doesn't help, the extremists and the leftists, taking things so far.
Well, it's on
Right.
both sides. It's on both sides. It's
It
on the
is.
right and the left, and
Right.
that's why I can't take the political party serious,
Me either.
because the extreme left wants to do some pretty extreme things that I don't really want to get into on here, because people yell and call it conspiracy, and it gets into two different factors of people's own personal lives that, for whatever reason, the Democrats believe that they should be involved with. I don't necessarily understand why. I miss the days where in politics, people didn't care about what happened in the bedroom.
Mhm.
I miss those days. And because, like, I'm not saying that those days were like great for certain parts of the culture, like for the gays, the lesbians, and any part of the LGBTQ community. It definitely wasn't great back then. A lot of them were still in the closet, and they didn't have the rights that they have today. But I will say that they also didn't have the attention that they have today, which is something a lot of them don't like. They don't want the attention. They wanted the rights. They didn't want the attention that they're getting.
Well,
And not all of the attention is good attention.
I'm gonna put you on pause for a second about that subject, okay?
Yeah.
And everybody might think me and Robert arguing. We're not arguing on this. This is a huge debate on my point of view on it. Robert, I know he'll agree with me on this. Now, when it comes to the LGBTQ community, I do not hate them whatsoever. But I will say this. They have taken it so far that I get a migraine when Pride Month comes, because they have made it from LGBTQ to the whole freaking alphabet.
Look. I understand it, but at the same time, it's just like, it doesn't have to be thrown in everybody's face. But if you want to celebrate your and have a month of celebration or whatever, that's fine. I don't really care. That's not what bothers me. The other subject, the other stuff that is involved with that, like, I know you've probably heard of MAPS. Do you know what MAPS is?
I've vaguely heard about it, but you'll have to enlighten me on this.
It's a group that calls themselves MAPS, that stands for Minor Attracted Persons. They're basically PDF files who are trying to become a part of the LGBTQ community.
Oh,
And
Lord.
that's not conspiracy. That's true. So, yeah, like, that's why a lot of them don't want that association. They
Okay.
don't want to be around people like that.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay. My issue is not only because of the fact that they switched it to the whole alphabet of you're different, you're sexually whatever, it doesn't matter. The whole point is, okay, look, you're either attracted to a man or a woman or both. That's what it originally was.
I think you should just be able to love whoever you want to love,
Right.
and do it behind closed doors, and
Right.
not have the entire world involved in your sex life.
Now, if you want to express,
no point.
if you want to express because you're asked, about your lifestyle, that's your choice. But to make it a big deal when people are the way they are and get mad,
There's no
like,
point.
look, exactly.
There's
And,
no point because
you know,
you're getting upset about somebody else's lifestyle choice, and if religion becomes a part of it, if other aspects of it are what bother you, then or what bother anybody, then that's your own belief. It's not that other person's belief. So regardless of how you feel, they're still going to do whatever the hell they want to do. So all you can do, bro, is pray for those people. And if you don't enjoy hearing about it or being around it, is to avoid it.
exactly.
It doesn't
And
make you a bad person to not
no,
deal with that stuff. It's not, if you're not a part of that community, then why care, right?
right. And
That's
then it also goes to the extreme side of it, which I'm not going to use the actual word. I'm going to just call them the tea people, right?
Well, I don't want to go into that.
Well, no, what I'm going to say is because, I have a family member who's that, right?
Right.
And it's if they choose truthfully, right, wants to be a different opposite, you know what?
Yeah.
That's their choice. We cannot tell them. We can't not deny them. But the problem is with the topic we're on, right?
Right.
They're making a big whole deal saying, well, you were originally this.
Well, yeah,
you're getting thrown into these things that you were originally were. And that's the problem with the government.
Look. Look. The government doesn't care either way, I don't think.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you look at it, okay, so, and I didn't find any videos on it because I know we don't want to get into that topic, but I'm going to bring this up because I'm not using the actual word.
You just dove deep into it, bro.
But here's the thing. I'm bringing up a point because it goes with the topic we're on.
But how does that affect the government? Like, I mean, like,
the thing is, the people, our people, right? Our American people in the United States who choose to be the opposite, you know what? Now, in prisons, they're being sent to the prison of what they were originally, you know what?
Oh yeah, no. So
they're being told they can't be in certain sports of the one they choose to be. That's the thing with, and then the military as well. That's another thing. The government's is making all these laws that affect those American people, right?
Right.
Because of the fact that, and this goes with Trump, because I swear up and down, I'm just saying allegedly, I heard this, that Trump said these people cannot and will not be part of these specific things.
So your comment's great. Sports is complicated.
Well, I agree with the sports complicated part. Yes.
Look, this is all I have to say about the matter. If you were and like, I don't care when it comes down to anything really in that besides the sports aspect. If you were biologically born a male and they can, test your chromosomes and you come back biologically a male, you should not be competing with females because you're going to beat them every time. That's facts. That's facts.
And I agree.
I don't care what anybody else says. That's facts. And if those facts hurt your feelings, that sucks because facts don't care about feelings.
Well, it goes with the whole Serena Williams, right?
Well,
she's built like a man, but she's full on woman. And she was born a woman.
Yeah, but no, I don't want to get into people per se.
Well, but I'm just giving a perfect example. There's certain women out there that are built like a man, right?
Well,
who are born women who can compete like a man. It goes both ways.
Look, the problem with men being in women's sports is you have guys that go into the Olympics who go and get onto the girls' swim team and then get gold medals. I don't know if it's happened in the Olympics, but I know
I
it's
don't know either.
happened. I know it's happened in other like tournaments and like swimming tournaments and stuff. That's not fair. That's not fair. A man is built better than a woman is.
Well, I mean,
But
here's the problem with that. Here's the
they're more
problem with that.
athletic. Men are more athletic than women.
Actually, that's not always proven.
It
That's
is
not always
proven.
proven. No, there's a lot of women who could outbeat a man in certain sports. Like, for instance,
What?
softball. Now,
Men play
tell me,
baseball.
okay, no, softball is different than baseball. Yes, they're similar, but
How fast can a woman throw a softball?
okay, look, when it comes to a softball, if
Elsa
you
just said the ball is way easier to hit.
there's certain men that can't hit that softball, and I've seen it.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now that you're wrong, and I love you, but you're wrong, and that's okay. Men will outbeat women in sports every single day of the year. Okay. You get a real mediocre man, and give him like a couple months to train weights and put him up against a woman power lifter, and I guarantee you he will be able to power lift the same amount that she is.
Okay,
And he will
well,
be able to do it. He will be able to do it with ease, and she will show that it actually is fairly hard for her. And that's because men develop muscle structure that's a little bit different than women, okay? And men also have a chemical called testosterone, which literally can feed like muscle growth and other aspects of like working out and things. Women don't develop muscle structure as fast as men. This is just proven. Like this is not mumbo jumbo. This is proven. So even if you take a man off of testosterone, like some of these men might claim, hey, I'm off testosterone. I had the whole procedure. I should be allowed to swim on the girls' swim team. Okay? Like they're fully invested. They got the whole operation done. They're a woman. Like they in their eye, they're a woman, and everybody's eyes around them, they're a woman. Okay? Complete operation done. They're 100% transgender. You know what I mean? Do you
I
think
wasn't even gonna use the word, but okay.
do you think that they're going to lose against the women swimmers if this person has been swimming their entire life and they just transitioned over to the women's swim team and are no longer on the male swim team? Do you think that they're going to be better than the women, or do you think the women are going to still beat them?
Well, you have to okay, look, it goes this way, all right? So
I can really give you an example.
We can't really say.
I can literally give you an example where one man who did exactly that went and beat out an entire women's swim team. An entire women's swim team. And they'd been swimming for years. And this man had not. He just decided he wanted to swim on the women's team because he thought he would be better, which he was correct. This is true. And they did not. He won the entire competition, stole it from the women, and basically they awarded him the medals. And there's been a big uprising about it. Like a whole bunch of Olympians and athletes have gone up against it. That's the big thing for me is the sports aspect of it. Other than that, I don't care. Like if you want to go and do that, then go for the bathroom thing too. If you
Most definitely that.
If you're a bearded man and you're walking into a woman's bathroom and you have lipstick on and you're acting weird, you probably should have just gone to the men's bathroom. That's all I'm
Right.
saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. We shouldn't allow that. That should not be a thing. We need to have bathrooms that are communal bathrooms. Okay, so like one bathroom for men, one bathroom for women, and then a communal bathroom that anybody can use. Okay, that solves the problem. Sorry,
Right.
that literally solves the problem.
Yeah.
So I think that's what should be done. But I think that subject I am good and done and over with.
Me too.
I don't care what grown adults do in their free time as long as these grown adults are consensually doing things with other consensual adults.
Yeah.
That is all I care about. If you want to change your entire personality, your entire body, and you just don't like yourself, that's on you.
Exactly.
That's not on me. I say do whatever makes you feel loved and do whatever you feel will make you love yourself. That's all I can say about it.
On to the next video.
You went deep there, bro.
I know. I wasn't trying to, but it is a problem within the United States government as well, because they've been dealing with it a lot.
No, you're gonna make me watch Jamie Raskin. I hate Jamie Raskin.
You're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victims. That will be your legacy unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice. You've been ordered by subpoena and by Congress to turn over 6 million documents, photographs, and videos in the Epstein files, but you've turned over only 3 million. You say you're not turning over the other 3 million because they're somehow duplicative, but we know that there are actual memos of victim statements in there. And you also took down the Department of Justice's prosecution memo from 2019. So it's clearly not all duplicative, but even if it were, why not release it? Just release all the duplicative stuff. In the half you did produce, you redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. Even worse, you shockingly failed to redact many of the victims' names, which is what you were ordered to do by Congress. Some of the victims had come forward publicly, but many had not. Many had kept their torment private, even from family and friends, but you published their names, their identities, their images on thousands of pages for the world to see. So you ignored the law, and even with over 100,000 employees at your disposal, you acted with some mixture of staggering incompetence, cold indifference, and jaded cruelty towards more than 1,000 victims raped, abused, and trafficked. This performance screams cover up. Convicted sex trafficker and groomer Ghislaine Maxwell opened the gates of hell to Virginia Giuffre and hundreds of other victims, as Virginia recorded in her remarkable book, Nobody's Girl. But when Maxwell was subpoenaed to come testify before Congress, you and Todd Blanche quickly moved her from a higher security prison to a minimum security camp in Texas, where she's enjoyed 5-star treatment, including catered meals, private gym time, and access to a therapy puppy. You're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victim.
Access to a therapy puppy. Jamie Raskins is like Timu Kevin Spacey's.
Right.
Like Kevin Spacey and Jamie Raskin oddly look similar. And I really, really don't like it. Like, because I really dislike both of them.
Is Jamie Raskin related to Carol Baskin?
No, bro, their last names just rhyme.
I know.
Raskin, Baskin. Someone's making bank. They found Bondi's portrait in the trash at the White House. That's funny.
All right.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. And you won't do it today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman. So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
I am not going to talk about this with you, Senator. Well, eventually you're going to have to. Pam Bondi, man. She's something
Right.
else.
Mm-hmm.
She's got that crazy mommy energy, and I don't like it.
Me either.
She's kind of scary.
I feel like I'm in trouble whenever she speaks.
But I will say that one lady, that older lady that was yelling at her, made me very uncomfy. Like I was
Me
just like,
too.
oh my god, like this woman is like just she's the ultimate crazy Karen. But I also
Right.
think Pam Bondi's kind of a Karen. I think they both are. It's like Battle of the Karens.
Okay, so to answer Elsa's question, because we were on this topic a little bit earlier, I feel it's far-fetched. It's not true, and they're filming with a green screen right behind them, and they're actually not in outer space because we've never been to the moon. So those images are AI or CI generated.
They're AI crap.
Yeah.
That's what crew thinks. Elmstead, they got onto that basket and they left that shuttle before it ever went up.
There's a video out there of showing it for real.
Nobody was on that rocket. Nobody was on that rocket.
And then there's another video of it showing doing a curve and then going straight to the ocean.
I'm so bad. I feed into crew's conspiracy.
Because they shown a video of Artemis 2 going up, and then you see it going all the way down into the ocean.
So it went up and it just went into the ocean.
Yeah, it did the curve.
It went and did the curve right into the ocean.
Yep.
So you think they launched that shuttle or that rocket and it just went right into the ocean?
Mm-hmm.
But I watched the rocket launch. I saw the stuff fall off of it and I saw it leave and go into the outer space.
Find the video. I think I sent it to you.
Bro, I watched it. I watched the real video.
I'm telling you, I saw the video where it does the curve. There's no way that a rocket could penetrate the firmament.
Let me see. I'm looking for it. It says because it's going into orbit around the planet first, crew. Obviously. I can't do anything else because it's got that music, but there it is.
You can mute it.
How do I mute it? Oh, I see it. It is odd that it curves like that. Like you'd think it would go straight up in outer space.
It's not going straight up. It's curving. It's curving.
You think it would go straight up, but this person down here says because it's going into orbit around the planet first. And then this person below him says firmament. And they said it's called rocket science. I said, yep, it's flat. The real ones know why the Earth is spinning. It is amazing, right? It's called trajectory. Because the Earth is rotating as they go straight up. I dare you to let go of a helium-filled balloon and watch it go sideways. They're using gravity of the Earth and the moon to slingshot there and back so they don't have to use a return rocket, hopefully. Huh. There you go. There you go, Mr. Conspiracy Moon.
Okay, but they filmed in a studio. We've never been to the moon.
No,
I'm telling you.
I agree with you. We've never been to the moon. We still haven't. We're only going around the moon.
We can't even get out of the firmament. How are we supposed to get to the moon if we can't get out of the firmament?
We're not going to the moon, bro. We're going around the moon.
The moon is outside of the firmament.
Yeah. That's why we shot the rocket. That's why we shot the rocket at supersonic speeds so it could go through the firmament around the moon and then back in through the firmament, man. Because we already figured out that if we go fast enough, we'll go right through the fucking firmament.
I'm telling you, we cannot get out of the firmament. There's no. They've tried to penetrate the firmament.
Elmster says 2028 is the official date of them going to the moon. What's crew gonna say then?
If they can break through the firmament, I will pay $100 that I was wrong.
Yeah, you'll pay me $100?
No, I will pay the whoever.
You'll pay Elmster $100 if you're wrong.
No, I will pay my mother $100 that I was wrong and she was right.
I think Elmster would prefer to be the one that's paid.
No, I'm talking about my mother here because my mother and I had this argument for a long time. Okay. Because when it comes to the firmament, she doesn't want to hear it.
It's all in the Bible.
Exactly. But anyways, the thing is though, that's what. Let's just move on because I'm gonna get all hypey, and I don't want to get all hypey on this topic.
So what I think is going to happen here is I think we're going to slingshot around the moon. We're going to go to the moon. We're going to go around the moon. And then in 2028, we're going to land our happy butts on the moon.
Okay, well, let's go on to the hypothetical, reasons why we haven't been to the moon in forever because there's an alien, base there, and they told us we're not allowed to go to the moon. So therefore, and also, how are we going to the moon when oh yeah, that's right. They lost all the documents on how to build a correct aircraft to get to the moon.
Yeah, they lost everything. They lost all the technology to go to the moon.
Exactly.
Didn't you know, crew? Didn't you know that they figured all of it out again? They figured it all out again.
They brought back the ones who were around 50 years ago who are no longer alive
Bro, they didn't have to, bro. Fucking alien technology, my man. Don't you think that if we have alien technology, we're probably using it right now on our spacecrafts? Wouldn't it be stupid not to?
Well, then they would have to go to Elon Musk, that, because he is supposedly, allegedly an alien.
Yeah, they re-engineered the original Apollo Elmster. That's how we're going back to the moon.
And then one girl who's on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Who was in the first Artemis 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straight up said on the word NASA, put a sticky note with the word fake.
I like the video where the one guy says it's the first time we're ever going to the moon.
Right.
That's my favorite one of the guy recently, the Artemis spokesperson who slipped up and said, "This is so cool. We're the first people that are going to the moon." And then he had to be like, "I meant the first people since 1960, whatever."
In fact, with how dark it is, I'm gonna shut my screen off because I'm gonna go look to see if you can even see it.
You can't see Artemis.
How would you know?
Because I've tried. I've gone out and looked. You can't see Artemis.
Because it's not there.
You would have to have a telescope.
It's not there. That's the only proven fact. It is not out there. It's in the ocean.
Crew, you sound like a crazy person.
No, I'm just speaking from facts, okay? Look, the fact that, a lot of people want to, argue and argue and argue and argue saying we've been to the moon. We haven't been to the moon. We've been to the moon. We've done this. We've done that. Okay. Well, how come in the late 1960s and the 1970s did they film in a studio?
Because Stanley Kubrick wasn't going to charge them any money because he got to be a part of history.
And then how did Richard Nixon supposedly call them in outer space?
They've had cell phones for a long time. I actually just recently found out that they had cell phones all the way back in the 1960s.
And then how? Well, here's the thing. How can you get a frequency from your phone to outer space?
So they used a certain amount of satellites, but back then they didn't have as many satellites, and basically the first cell phones were huge phones. They were gigantic. They were huge. They were people called them brick phones or car phones.
And then this one really gets me. If we've been to outer,
how come you don't see all the satellites, crew?
Because there's no satellites out there.
They're satelloons, right?
They're all AI generated.
No. They're balloons.
Oh, they're balloons. Yeah, excuse me. Sorry.
But
hold on.
the cell phones we have today aren't satellite phones. No, you're right. The cell phones off today are connected by cell phone towers.
Hold on. This one really gets me. Okay. If we've been to the moon, how did they film us in outer space landing on the moon?
Bro, there was a guy that was already there. We sent a dude there before everybody, so that he could be there, so that he could film the first person that came off the ship. So that guy, we had to pay him $50,000 and a piece of pizza, so that he could go up there before everybody else, so that he could film it when the ship took off and when it landed and when Neil Armstrong came out and took his first steps. That guy's name was Peter. He is half human, half gray alien, and he also lives on the other side of the moon. Okay, and Peter here.
Oh my God, you're
all for a beer and a slice of pizza and $50,000 human dollars. Okay.
Okay. Hold on. I want you to look this up on Grok. Okay. and ask this question. What is the radiation level and the temperature in outer space by the moon? Allegedly.
What is the radiation content and the temperature outside of the moon?
Checking moon radiation and temp right now. Outside on the moon, brutal. No atmosphere means wild swings. During lunar day, about 2 weeks long, surface temps hit around 250 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like a scorching oven.
Jeez.
Plummets to Hey, looks like your question got cut off. What were you asking? Hey, your message just says, what is? Did it get cut off? Finish that thought and I'm all ears.
Shush. That's hot as hell. The moon's hot as hell. What are radiation levels around the moon like?
Good question. Let's check the latest on lunar radiation. Pretty wild stuff. On the moon, there's no atmosphere or magnetic field to block it, so radiation's way higher than Earth. Think about 60 microsieverts an hour on the surface. That's roughly 200 times what we get down here daily. For context, a year on the moon could rack up hundreds of millisieverts, while Earth's background is like 2 or 3. Here's a quick visual of how cosmic rays hammer the place. And yeah, Artemis folks right now are monitoring it closely in their capsule. Radiation's a big deal during that flyby. This chart shows the jump from Earth to space. Short trips, manageable, like a CT scan's worth. But hang out longer without shielding, that's when cancer risks climb fast. Cool, right?
What is the temperature of Mars?
Mars temps? Let me grab the latest. Mars? Brutally cold. Think average around minus 60 Celsius or minus 80 Fahrenheit. Right now, from Curiosity's spot in Gale Crater, late spring there, highs hit maybe 27 Fahrenheit during the day, but drop to minus 90 at night. That's like stepping outside in Antarctica without a coat. Global models peg it at minus 58 Celsius today.
No, thank you.
Swinging wild between spots. You're welcome. Glad I could help.
No,
What was
thank
the temperature? What was the temperature?
Negative 80.
Yeah, I'm good.
Like, so, or sorry, negative 90, said Elmster.
So here's the thing. Okay. If we've been to the moon, which is not possible with that kind of radiation level,
How
and
come
that
nobody has
temperature,
How come nobody has ever came back with moon cancer?
that part.
How come none of our astronauts have ever came back with moon cancer or
Because-
radiation from space?
Because we've never been to the moon. We've never been outside of the
Elmster says
firmament.
special suits. Those suits don't protect them from radiation at all.
And neither does those aircrafts.
Well, the aircraft do to a point, but not
Well-
by much.
No, and here's the thing. Okay, let's go back with the whole. Okay, if possible, if they have, right? Okay, if they have been out in outer space, those
We're
two
not
people.
rocket scientists, says Elmster.
Hold on.
He says,
Okay,
"Ask
but
Rock."
I'm saying hypothetically, right? Allegedly, if we've been those two people who were lost in space
Yeah,
a while back, last year,
right.
they come back, and the one lady, they were lost out in space for 9 months. That one lady looked younger when she went out in space, right?
Yeah,
And then
she
she
came
looked
back
older.
with gray hair and all this other shit. And then when they showed her again, somehow her gray hair was gone and it was all back to black and all this other stuff. Dude, that was fishy as hell. And
Yeah.
how when they got off the craft, both of them slipped up and showed that they could like walk. And then they started to have to like act like they couldn't walk and like their bones were degraded. Like, no, I know. It's freaking weird. It's like
And
it was odd.
and then the celebrities Katy Perry.
Perry.
Yeah.
Just
Point
a
is,
second. Just a second. I'm going to humor this question from Grok because I don't believe it about the spacesuits, but let's see what Grok has to say. Do the spacesuits that NASA astronauts use protect them from radiation? And if so, how much radiation does it really protect them from?
Good question. Let me dig into that. Yeah, NASA's current spacesuits, like the EMU used on the ISS, do offer some radiation protection, but honestly, it's pretty limited. They're built mainly for pressure, temperature, micrometeoroids, and mobility, not heavy-duty shielding. Here's the quick rundown. First off, they block UV, no sunburn in space. For charged particles like solar wind or low-energy stuff, yeah, they stop that too. But against the real threats, galactic cosmic rays, GCR, solar particle events, SPEs like flares, and trapped radiation in Earth's belts, the suit's thin layers, fabrics, Kevlar, Mylar, cooling tubes, give you maybe 0.2 to 1 gram per square centimeter of shielding. That's tiny compared to a spacecraft hull.
That's nothing.
Normal ISS EVA.
That's nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
So, the spacesuit absolutely does not matter. Radiation's still going to get it no matter what. Correct, Grok?
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank
It's
you.
not a shield at all.
Thank you. The spacecraft now. How well does the spacecraft protect the astronauts from radiation?
Yeah, let's talk spacecraft shielding. It's way better than suits. Yeah, spot on. The suit's pretty much irrelevant for serious radiation. It's like a paper umbrella in a storm. But the spacecraft? That's where it gets real. For the ISS, you're in low Earth orbit, so Earth's magnetic field helps a ton. The hull?
Huh. So wait. The International Space Station is not in space, correct? It's in low Earth orbit, and that's not in space, right?
Yeah, let's clear that up quick. Nah, hold up. The ISS is in space, totally. It's just space that's still kind of close to home. See, the official edge of space, the Kármán line, is at about 62 miles up, or 100 kilometers. That's where the air gets too thin for planes to fly, and you're officially an astronaut. The ISS cruises at around 250 to 260 miles, 420 kilometers, way above that line. So yeah, astronauts up there are in outer space, no question. But it's low Earth orbit, because Earth's gravity still pulls hard, and the atmosphere's drag is noticeable. Hence why it needs boosts every few months to stay up. Look at these shots. You can see the planet's curve. Black void all around. No denying you're out there. And here's a diagram showing how the ISS sits well past that boundary. Thermosphere.
You want to look at some CGI photos, crew?
I guess.
Sure, I'm game. What you got in mind?
Okay, so obviously, the space shuttles, they're built to take a certain amount of radiation. The suits can take radiation to a point, but if an event occurred that radiation was phenomenal, the suits would not protect them at all. The spacecraft would protect them quite a bit. I still think the Van Allen radiation belt would give some people space cancer.
Yeah.
I don't believe Artemis is going to the moon. They were supposed to go to the moon this year. They had to put it back, and now they're saying they're going in 2028. I'll believe it when they go. I'll believe it when they end up on the moon. When we get that phone call to Artemis on the moon, when whoever calls Artemis on the moon with our next Richard Nixon moment.
The Mars rover is not even on Mars. It's somewhere in the desert in the United States.
Well, I will give you this, crew. There are some really weird, wacky photos of some places here on Earth that resemble the rocky
Mountain.
terrain of Mars. I don't know if there's any proof to the rovers not actually being on Mars, but I'll tell you the videos we all saw when we were kids of the rovers getting sent to Mars. Each and every one of those was CGI. None of those were actually real images or photos or videos even of those rovers going to Mars. Now all of a sudden we have videos of it, and like I don't remember when those videos were introduced, but those rovers went to Mars when we were in high school.
Right.
I remember because every time our science teachers would like go in and start talking about it, they would show us the CGI portrayals of the rover going to Mars and landing on Mars with the balloons that all come out and then it bounces the rover on the Martian surface and so forth, blah, 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 blah. But till after about 2017 probably was the first time I ever saw alleged footage, like real footage of the Mars rover. And then you have the pictures that portray weird things like certain stones or objects that look like animals. Like that's weird. It's weird. I don't know if we ever went to Mars. I don't know if we ever went to the moon, but I'll tell you one thing. We're definitely lying about things.
Yeah.
It could be Arizona, Julie. It could be. It's either like Arizona or Las Vegas or somewhere in the desert, but probably Arizona. I could
Rocky
see that.
Mountains.
Well, the Rocky Mountains wouldn't be Mars-like.
No,
They
but
wouldn't be Mars-like.
okay. What
You
about
need sand and dirt.
okay, what about the Grand Canyon?
I still don't think that's Mars-like.
I mean, either way, though.
I mean, you could run things through filters, but the like you couldn't have any water because basically on Mars, like yes, they claim there's water on Mars, but there's not like rivers and oceans. It's frozen water that's underground in Mars.
Yeah.
Mars.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, though, I want to see these CGI videos.
What?
CGI videos or pictures.
Yeah, so of like the Mars rover.
Yeah. And then of the International Space Station too. You were going to show that too.
All right, well, with Mars, bro, you can literally type in CGI photos and it literally pops them all up. These were all like some of these we were actually sold as these were like real photos. This one right here, for instance, we were sold that was real. That's CGI. There's the famous animal on Mars that the Mars rover caught. Do you see that red circle around that object?
Yeah.
That's an animal on Mars, which is hilarious. How is there an animal on Mars?
That part.
Oh, yeah. No, you got to love it. Like these. Don't you remember these photos?
Mm-hmm.
These are all CGI. And we were sold that this was real. Like, obviously that's CGI. Obviously that's AI. That's also obviously AI. But like some of them that we were sold like actually looked realistic, like this one right here. And then you wonder, you're like, how could these pictures be taken either way, you know? And then you have photos like this that are supposed to be real. Is that real? I don't know. How do we get the like I don't understand how we get the data back from the rover. Like obviously like in like the internet, I guess, and satellites, but it doesn't make very much sense to me. If you send like how much footage are they sending over at a time?
Right.
Look at that. You think that's a real photo?
No.
What about that one?
No.
What about that?
No.
How about that one?
Mm-mm.
This one?
No.
No. What about that? That's definitely not real.
Yeah, that's definitely not real.
That. What about this one?
No.
What about that?
No.
But this one has to be real.
No.
Are
None
you
of them
sure?
are.
'Cause
Yes, none of them are.
this one says it's the most amazing moments of the ISS, and it's from the BBC. That has to be real. There's
No.
no way that image is CGI. That has to be real. It's from the
No.
BBC. It's from the
No.
BBC.
Okay, well, here's the thing. The BBC could be lied to.
What about this image right here?
That's so fake.
What about this one?
Fake.
What about this one? That one's
Fake.
got to be real.
That's fake. That's completely fake. All of them are fake, bro. They're
What's
all
this?
CGI or AI. Okay, that is them inside.
Why does that guy have normal clothes on?
Exactly. It's fake. They weren't in space at that time.
This is real, right?
No.
This has got to be real.
No.
This is definitely real.
No.
This one?
No.
This
None of
one.
them are real. Okay. I'm keeping my hand up saying none of them are real. They're
What
all
about this
fake.
one right here, man? What
Fake.
about this one? Fake?
How could they get that picture?
I mean, somebody took it.
How?
They went out on a spacewalk and they took the picture.
No, not with how bad radiation's out in space. No. If space is, even if you can go in outer space, no. The radiation levels and the temperature, no.
What about this one? You can't tell me this one's fake too.
That's not real.
What?
You know I'm right. Anyways, do we have any more videos?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Guys, is crew crazy or did we never go to the moon and the ISS doesn't exist? What's your thoughts on mermaids?
Oh boy.
Elmster says he believes Earth is the only planet. Is Elmster right? Is Earth the only planet, crew?
What's the question again?
Elmster said that you believe that Earth is the only planet.
Oh my God. No, I don't. That's not what I mean. Okay, look. My point of view on this whole matter, okay? I've said this thousands of times, is people would actually listen to crew for what?
Crew's heated. Crew's heated.
We are not, we may, okay. I'll put this in an easy point of view so people understand. When it comes to Earth, we're not the only ones around. There's many other domed lands out there. When you see all those stars out there, right? They're reflections of other domed worlds or lands, whatever, that are out there. And that's why you see all the stars. The firmament separated the waters from the waters from above from the waters from below for reasons. Now, my point of view, there could be so many lands out there that we have not explored.
Elmsta says, so you don't believe in Nibiru anymore?
Okay, that could be another domed land.
So you're more into the belief of Terra Infinita.
Yes.
The theory of the domed worlds.
Yes.
Elmsta said, wait, but Nibiru came here, so they have been through the firmament. Hey, liberal supporter, get the heck out of here. Crew trying to hide that he's from Nibiru, says Elmsta. Nibiru crew for the win. W's in the chat if you love Nibiru crew. Hey, if you think crew should stop smoking, type SS. No, don't do that. I just realized that sounds bad. If you think crew should stop littering in national parks, type stop littering in national parks, asshat, in the chat. Crew is like avoiding questions now.
Because I'm dealing with something real quick.
Oh,
I'm
no.
dealing with an idiot who asked a dumb question about a specific eFed card. They're not reading it correctly.
Crew's too busy for us.
Now, first off, no, I've never littered in national parks. That's false. And another false question. If I was from Nibiru, I probably wouldn't be this skin color.
What skin color would you be?
Probably blue with white hair.
Yeah.
And remove that banner. It's false. Here we go. Robert will not let it go. And I'm already heated enough with because I'm tired of explaining every single episode about outer space and the whole, yes, I believe in the Terra Infinita analogy because that makes 100% more sense than what they want you to believe. 100%, that's what I believe. Because here's the thing. We cannot explore Antarctica. That's been proven.
How come we can't explore Antarctica? Give me 5 good reasons why we can't explore Antarctica.
One, because supposedly they say it's to protect the environment. 2, also because of let's see.
They don't want you getting those rare earth minerals from Antarctica. They don't want you getting that oil from Antarctica. What is it? Antibacterial free water and free energy. What are they hiding in Antarctica, crew? Giant spaceships? Come on, I need to know. You give me this amazing lore, okay? I need the lore. I need the facts. You tell me about Antarctica.
Okay.
Our Neanderthal ancestors are there. Damn right.
When,
Joe Rogan's a Neanderthal.
okay. Let's discuss this on another episode because my brain is fried
No,
already.
bro, you went into Antarctica. You start talking to me about Antarctica right now. I want to know the facts.
Okay.
You don't
first
get
off,
out of this that easy.
Okay. I'm getting heated. Hold on. Try to calm down.
That's
so I
right.
can
You calm
explain
your
it.
ass down. You taking this to heart way too easy, bro.
Okay. Antarctica, we're not allowed to explore. 100% whatsoever, not allowed to explore. Spyro, I'm in the middle of something. Stop. That's another reason why I'm getting heated because of him. He won't leave me alone.
The cat is bugging.
Yeah. With Antarctica, the fact that it's surrounding the entire Earth, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
connect.
your ice wall. You believe there's an ice wall.
Right.
So you need to confirm this for everybody. The fact that Antarctica is an ice wall.
Okay. Earth, with it being an ice wall, it's surrounding the entire ocean surrounding the Earth.
So can we get through that ice wall?
There's some spots, yes, but they're blocked off by the government and the military.
And is it true that one of those openings is allegedly called the Summers Gate?
And there's also the Leviathan's Gate. Can you pull up the Terra Infinita Earth part real quick?
I have been to other countries. I have also been in and on the ocean, Elmstead. I have been to quite a few other countries, actually. What video do you want me to pull up?
Hold on.
Crew is heavily invested in whatever this person is really upset with him about.
Okay. Now, the map of the Terra Infinita map with Earth only.
Yeah, so just a second. So Elmstead, I'm not gonna say that I'm rich because I am not rich by any means. I don't have money, but growing up my family had money, and basically they wanted to go on cruise ships all the time. So I went on four cruises, and I went to several different countries. Obviously, the first cruise we went on was like the Mexican and South American like cruise, like through Cozumel, Roatan, Belize. I saw I gotta get off and get into Mexico. I went to Canada, I went to Nova Scotia. I've been to a lot of different places. Been to quite a few. And even when I was even more little that I don't remember, I've been to a couple different places that I don't remember. I would have to ask my parents where those places were. But I've been to like South American and Mexican places. And I went to Canada. The one place that I'm jealous that my parents went to that I didn't get to go to because they didn't take me was Alaska. They went to Alaska. I thought that would have been really cool. All right, crew, what were you saying?
Okay. Pull up the picture of the Terra Infinita Earth part only.
Give me a second. I've almost got it. It's hard to find a good one that shows everything, like of Earth. I found one, but it's kind of blurry. Let me see if I can't pull it up. Okay, I got it. I'm coming back. I'm going to pull it up. Here you go, crew.
Okay, hold on.
And now he's telling me to hold on.
Okay. Can you zoom in?
I can try.
Okay. Because I'm going to explain something here when you do.
Is that zoomed in enough for you?
Zoom it in a little bit more.
I can't.
Okay. So, the very top, that open slot, right by in the ice wall that's leading into Asgard. What is that called?
That's the something portal. The devolve portal?
I guess so. Anyways, scroll down a little bit. Okay. Now, you see two more openings, yes?
Yeah.
What are they called?
The one at the bottom.
The two at the bottom. What are they called?
I can't make out the name of the really long one, but
Summers Gate.
The other one is the Summers Gate. The
Summers
really
Gate
long
and the
one.
Leviathan Gate. Those
Okay.
are so you got the Summers Gate and the Leviathan's Gate. Now, that's the only way, okay,
Okay.
to leave the ice wall. Now they want to say, so many people want to say there's so many undiscovered lands out there. Now, when you go in when you're out up there right by the atmosphere, right?
Right.
And you can see all over the, Earth in the distance. And you can see all those undocumented lands
Yeah.
outside the ice wall.
Elmster says they say unknown, so that makes them fake.
Unknown because they have not been discovered or documented yet. Because here's the thing. Did you know that Hawaii has more than one island than what is shown on the map?
Yeah, for sure.
You got the older Hawaii, and then you got the newer Hawaii. The newer Hawaii are the ones that are considered the states that are part of the 50th state of the United States. The older are not considered documented. And then there's an island in Hawaii, right, that is forbidden to go to.
Why is that?
Now, okay. Now, the island in Hawaii that was forbidden to go to, something happened in World War II, right? But originally it was bought out by this family in, I think, Scotland by the last name Robinson. And in World War II, during the attack of Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
the one of the Japanese crashed on this island, and two Japanese residents of that island tried to help him, and then a whole fight broke out.
Oh, geez.
Look it up, the Forbidden Island of Hawaii, real quick. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's something that is a forbidden island to go to. I think you have to have like strict.
What's the story behind the Forbidden Island in Hawaii?
Oh, Forbidden Island. Cool one. Let's dig in. So, Niihau, aka the Forbidden Island, is this tiny, rugged spot just 17 miles off Kauai's coast. It's privately owned by the Robinson family since 1864, when a Scottish widow named Elizabeth Sinclair bought it from King Kamehameha IV for $10,000 in gold. They wanted to protect Hawaiian culture. No outsiders, no resorts, no paved roads, no internet. The island stayed super isolated. About 250 native Hawaiians live there, speaking Hawaiian as their main language, ranching sheep, making leis from shells, no cars, no electricity except solar. It's like stepping back in time. It got the Forbidden nickname back in the 1950s during polio scares. The family shut it down to keep diseases out. Even now, you can't just show up. Visits are invitation only for family, Navy folks, or officials. But here's the fresh twist. As of early 2026, they're finally cracking the door. Limited helicopter day tours and boat dives let you skim the beaches or fly over. Super controlled. No landing on the main village. Check these aerial shots. Raw, volcanic beauty. No crowds. And here's what the locals look like. Traditional folks keeping old ways alive. Wild, right? Like a real-life time capsule. Except now you can peek from the sky.
Okay, so it just shows like it's a crescent moon, or it's an island right by a crescent moon rock thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just traditional Hawaiian people that live on there. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Ask about the Japanese Forbidden Island. What about the Japanese Forbidden Island?
Oh, you mean Hashima? The ghost island off Nagasaki? Let's dig in. Yeah, you're probably thinking of Hashima Island, Aka Gunkanjima, or Battleship Island. It's this tiny, abandoned rock off Nagasaki, Japan, shaped like a warship from afar. Back in the day, late 1800s through 1974, it was Japan's densest spot, packed with over 5,000 miners living in massive concrete blocks. Coal mining under the sea, super industrial. But dark side, during WWE, forced labor, thousands of Korean and Chinese workers under brutal conditions, deaths uncounted. Mitsubishi ran it. Then bam, oil replaced coal. Everyone evacuated overnight in 74, left to rot. Now, it's a ghost town, crumbling apartments, overgrown stairways, total post-apocalyptic vibe. UNESCO listed it in 2015 as industrial heritage, but that sparked controversy, cause of the war history. You can't just wander in. Super dangerous, buildings collapsing. But since 2009, boat tours from Nagasaki let you circle it, land on a safe pier for 45 minutes, peek from viewpoints. No interiors, no free roam, strict rules. Weather cancels a lot too. Still, it's wild seeing those towers rise from the waves. Here's the full aerial. Looks like a floating fortress. And up close, those hollowed out blocks, vines everywhere, like nature's reclaiming it. From the boat, kinda haunting, right? Not forbidden like Niihau. No private owners keeping it locked. But yeah, off limits inside. Just eerie tourism now. Ever want to go?
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. The fact, though, with there being so many lands out there that have not been discovered, right?
Right.
And then also you have the supposed hole in either side of the poles, right?
Yeah, the inner Earth.
Right. Now, supposedly, that's another reason why we're not allowed to go to Antarctica.
It's because you'll find the inner Earth.
That too. Now, there's so many different, hypothetical reasons why, we're not allowed to go to the ice wall. But the main reason is because the United Treaty will not allow it.
Right. Well, I mean, I've heard that the closer you get to Antarctica, the more likely you are to get approached by ships from different countries. Usually, ships like Australia telling you to turn around, things like that. There's video footage of people that got too close to certain parts of Antarctica. They immediately get told to turn around.
Yep.
But anyways, crew, it's getting late. We've been on for about 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I think it is about time for you to tell the good people what this is.
Here we go. Okay, so this is the Venmo link to the Robert and Crew Show. If you'd like to, not have to, donate so that way we can get stuff for the podcast, or better yet, so we can get traveling costs for the podcast so we can go venture out and explore. But better yet, anything and everything for this Venmo page is only for ... the podcast. Try saying that 10 times faster.
About, bro?
I just wanted to, add that, because I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over every episode.
But anyways, our absolute most favorite currency in the entire world is what, crew?
Share the show. Or
Share
better
the
yet,
show.
share with your friends, share with your family, share with your side piece. We don't condone cheating, but, if you do cheat, that's on you. And
you better share it with your side piece, that's for sure.
That too, and they better share with their side piece. But also, we also do like if you'd like and subscribe.
Yeah, and if you're interested in being a guest on the Robert and Crew Show, you can always check our Facebook page out, and you can send us a direct message, and we are more than willing to look at that and see if we want to have you on. We love to interview about life stories, jobs, and religious beliefs. Whatever you're into, we would love to interview you over it. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. Much love from the Robert and Crew Show. Peace.